What up guys, Bill GK here with another altcoin traders overview. Today we're going to be looking at BAT. Just before we get started, not financial advice, purely for entertainment and educational purposes. Alrighty, with that out of the way, let's get into it by firstly marking some key levels on the chart. We'll then peel in on the lower time frames. We'll have a look at what's led to this move and what this recent move means, what we'd like to see for continuation and where it may continue to, along with what we don't want to see to not have that continuation. So we'll start by marking out this key level right here. And why is this a key level? Well, last high time frame high, which led to this low, which ultimately led to this cycle high and this range high, where BAT essentially sat for around 500 days or so. And equally so, we'll mark the high on a weekly closing basis up here as well. Okay. Along with that, we also have quite a key level in this area here. Now, why is this a key level here, and why haven't I sort of fit it a little bit lower here? Well, we can see that the move that eventually broke out of this range high, okay, came from this candle right here, this thrust candle right here, and this floor that was built. So this was at the time a temporary little fake out and reclaim, and away we went. And along with that, you can see how many weeks we consolidated above this area here. And equally so, as we consolidated here, we also have this level here. Now, why have I marked this level here? Well, this high led to this low, which led to this lower high, and ultimately led to this fake out prior to this move, which ultimately took BAT to new all-time highs. Okay, and that's the weekly. Let's have a quick look at the 3-day. Okay, see our levels on the 3-day. And what do we notice down here? Well, what's down here? Okay, what do we have here? We have around a 600-day floor and a break below. Okay, and since then a break back above. Now, you can imagine what's happening at this support floor. Well, this is a 600-day, a 2-year support floor essentially, 2 to 3 touch, and then once we broke down from this area, broken support, flip, resistance. Many people would have been selling. However, we didn't really accelerate to the downside, and as you can see, we've actually gone and reflipped this back to support. So if I come down on the lower time frames like the daily, you can have a bit of a look. Let's mark a key level here. Along with this, we'll also mark out this high. Why is this a key level? Well, we had this higher high after the range breakout, and then we had the range retest, and this swing low led to this higher high relative to this high. However, this resistance, right, turned support, was unable to hold, and if we came down to the lower time frames, we can see lower high, breakdown. Okay, quite a key level, and still untested, interestingly. So we can see here this swing low that broke down, broken support, flipped resistance, retested, right? However, this still remains untested, which is really interesting considering where BAT is at the moment. So as we come down to the lower time frames, let's have a look more recently what's happened here, which led to this break above this key level and essentially a reclaim. So we can see the initial low here, low, high. Okay, we'd call this an equal low along with a bit of a stop run here. So people who were sort of thinking maybe this is the bottom, buying in this area down here, placing their stops below this low, was stopped out. Okay, and then again, we have a bounce, low, higher high here. Okay, people thinking, well, we have a higher high here and now we have a higher low here. Well, this low is the current low, and I'm going to put my stop below here and start picking some up, and we can see what happened. So we had a low, right, high, we had a lower low here. Okay. However, from here, we had a quick reclaim, even on this initial swing low, right? Lower low, quick reclaim, retested. Okay, now we know broken support should be flipped to resistance. However, this was quickly reflipped to support. And from here, we made a higher high relative to this high, which led to this higher low relative to this low. Okay, so we had some very low time frame bullish market structure within this little range and fake out forming here. And ultimately it's led to this break back above this key level, extremely key level for BAT. And if we come in and look a little bit more recently, we also have this high here getting flipped. So since faking out below and breaking back above, essentially what BAT is doing is it's transitioning to a bullish market structure, right? Higher highs and higher lows, higher high, higher low, higher high, right? Resistance flips support, okay? And if I was to essentially start to plot a little bit of a trend line here for visualization purposes, we can see how that lines up as well. Now, from here, where could BAT sort of be going? Well, if I zoom out a little bit and come back to the 3-day, let's have a look. Well, we know we had this range low here, which was essentially a 3-touch support level, okay? And we know we've had this fake out. Now, what does this sort of remind you of? Well, this reminds me of this up here where we had a range high, so a resistance, okay? This was a multi-touch resistance, a 5 to 6 touch resistance level, which broke out, but ultimately, which failed. Okay, so this faked out above the resistance. Okay, so we can also make this color, right? Now, now you might be starting to sort of see the similarities here. Well, we've actually had a fake up above resistance. So, you know, where did that lead us? We had a fake up above resistance and a break back down, right? Resistance, 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 blow through resistance, flip support. However, holding support failed. So blow through support, flipped, resistance, along with this fake out. Now it may sort of start to come fairly clear that we've done something fairly similar down here. Okay, but instead of it being resistance, we've actually had support, broken support, resistance, resistance, blow through resistance, flipped, support. So as long as BAT ultimately holds above this sub 2K area, you could sort of see how this lines up after a fake out of such a large multi-year consolidation range. So going off that logic of this fake out leading to the range low and this fake out potentially leading toward the top of the range, BAT, you know, could, if it can sort of maintain above that 2 area, well, we know we have a trouble area here, and even that, you know, is quite far away. We have another trouble area around here, okay. And then if it heads to, you know, the range high, you can see there is quite a bit of upside here, and if it can get past the range high, it may even in the future at some point decide to visit this untested level, which was what I mentioned earlier, which was interesting because it can be fairly rare that areas on a chart remain untested, depending on the time frame we're looking at. But again, we can see here broke down, retested, right? Even from here broke down, retested, right? This remains untested. So quite an interesting development on BAT and quite an interesting structure forming. So that brings us to the end of this quick overview. If you'd like to see more videos like this, like the video, let us know in the comments below. If you'd like to chat with us on a daily basis, you can find the link to our public Discord below. Cheers, guys.